Now, you took the class, you used that class as an opportunity to build an early version of a product or to form some sense as to what you'd like to do, what would be great to do. How did that amorphous, uncertain process suddenly become reality where you said, all right, this is interesting, we're going to go and continue doing this?
Many things happened, and obviously there isn't a moment when you all of a sudden decide that that's it. There's just a lot of moments leading up to it. One of the things was when we decided to talk to large companies and see whether they would be interested in something like that. And my co-founder actually went out and talked to 40 large corporations around Boston area and also on the West Coast. And a lot of them were really wowed by the idea and also revealed to him that, in fact, the current programs that they're using are not very effective. So there is an opportunity for some innovation.
And the really important point here for everyone here in the class is that this is what makes your venture real on concrete. Going out and getting real data from prospective customers. Fantastic. Now, tell us about how you went and found those companies. How did you contact them? And how did you engage the conversation?
We decided that our ideal client would probably be a large company. So we looked at what large companies are to be found in the Boston area. And we also then thought about who would be the right person in those companies to contact. And obviously, most of the wellness programs, so fitness initiatives, are in the hands of either benefits administrators or HR managers, directors. So we looked for people of that stature in each organization, and we just actually contacted many more companies than 40, but then a certain number of them wrote back to us and said, well, we'd like to hear your pitch. So we were able to get either phone interviews or actually real meetings with them.
All right, so how did you even find who to contact? You had an assumption that you should be going after large companies, and within large companies you had an assumption about who to go after. How did you find these people? And how did you find their contact information?
Well, we just knew the position, or kind of how the position would sound, and then we used LinkedIn, which is a great tool. We did buy a special professional version of it to be able to see more information, and we used it a lot.
All right, so you found the people on LinkedIn. Did you use any other sources?
Well, some of the sources we used was just personal connections. It just so happened some of us knew somebody who would probably know somebody else who would be an HR manager. So that's a very good other way to find your first prospective customers, through a direct or semi-direct lead or connection.
You start reaching out to companies, and at that point, you really only have an idea. So what did you say in your emails, in your phone calls to the people that you were reaching that made it interesting to them to go and meet with you?
It's not easy because we are not a company and not anybody well known with a known name like Procter & Gamble reaching out to this company. So the way we approached it is basically we played students, and we were students, and it's surprising how people are more willing to help other people and are more responsive when they perceive themselves as helping somebody else versus being sold to. So obviously your first emails cannot be aggressive, and it was informational. We just laid things out as they were. We were students. We were working on this exciting project with some great science from MIT. That usually sometimes helps. And we just wanted a little bit of their time to get a little bit more information about what problems they had in this area. We reached out to them as students, and it was super helpful because everybody is wired to help others, and that's, I think, is a great strategy. Most people don't actually like to be sold to, but almost everybody is very much into helping everybody else. So we appealed to that. And also we talked about their problems. So we presented ourselves as being very relevant to them. And finally, we referenced this amazing science at MIT that we were familiar with that could be used to help solve their problems, and this piqued their interest.
If you're working on a venture as part of this course, you should heed the advice of getting in touch with prospective customers and tell them, hey, I'm taking 15390X from MIT. This is an MIT course on entrepreneurship, and I'd like to learn about your problems and figure out how we can solve them. This is a great way to do it.